You're listening to DraftKings Network.
Without the ones like you, who work tirelessly to keep things running, everything would suddenly stop. Hospitals, factories, schools, and power plants, they all depend on you. No matter the weather, emergency, or time of day, you're the ones who get it done. At Grainger, we're here for you with professional-grade industrial supplies. Count on real-time product availability and fast delivery. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
This is the Dan Le Batard Show with the Stugotz podcast.
So Stugotz has been uneasy all show because the Kelseys have elbowed their way into the Stugotz game, and all he's getting out of it is a book deal for a book that he won't have to write, and he wants more. And he's been uneasy all show. Yep. But one of the things that Meadowlark Media has chosen to do,
StugotzBook.com, by the way, pre-order.
Books and movies, is also have the freedom of microphones to talk about whatever we wanted to talk about. And so, for those of you who do not want politics with your sports, I understand you can fast forward. It's, a lot of people accuse us of being an echo chamber. Maybe there aren't a lot of people here from the other side.
How do I do it?
You can go sit in the penalty box if you want.
Really?
Yeah.
I'm just asking how to fast forward. That's all.
Please no
the audience.
Please no
me.
fart noises, though.
Yeah, well, this is what Stugotz was doing earlier in the show. He was giggling. Stugotz was giggling. 50 years old. He's like, I just polluted the show with farts yesterday. I made it rain farts. That's what Stugotz was doing yesterday.
Sorry, I missed it.
Yeah. What's a giggle? What's considered a giggle versus a chuckle? Oh, that's okay. I'm back.
You understood? Yep. You understood the difference.
2 minutes? Or?
I mean, you can stay here if you want.
Oh, thanks.
Yeah, well,
what is tee-hee-hee? That's a giggle, right?
Yeah.
Flawless.
Things to ponder, I guess.
Yeah. Upload it to the file.
We'll get it next week.
On it.
All right. Well, this is infuriating to me, what Stugotz did with the last segment where he infiltrated the Ponder file in a way that makes it seem corrupt, because that dumb conversation from yesterday that he polluted the show with for 20 minutes about whether or not Russell Wilson should be traded or should sign with the Dolphins for a couple of million, and they should not get the $50 million quarterback Tua.
It's an upload speed thing. Yeah.
Right, it's an upload thing.
Again, it's an analog system.
Yeah.
I didn't know that happened
Slower
yesterday,
uploads.
so when it was uploading today, I had no idea.
Remember Napster, how long it took to download things? It's like that, but uploading it.
Correct. I took advantage of Tony.
I don't remember that.
You finally did?
Oh, yeah.
You finally took advantage of Tony.
I wish I could every day, but today I did.
Okay.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
Okay. Heavy-handed.
I mean, Juju.
It's what I do.
I mean, subtlety, he's allergic. What I have in front of me, Stugotz, I have in front of me simply a set of facts, okay? Because it seems like we're headed toward just a general dangerous year in America. So, I mean, that seems obvious no matter where it is that you stand. You've seen the gun violence. You've seen how divided everyone is. You've seen how everyone has a different set of facts. And it doesn't, it's just all scary.
They're all bad facts.
Well, I'm going to give you what is all bad facts here, because I'm just going to tell you facts about Donald Trump. They're just facts. Okay. And it's not going to have anything else in it. And I have so much of it here, I don't know whether to hit fanfare, whether to do it quickly. But so many of these things at one point in time, Stugotz, in American politics, we have gone from I am not a crook of Richard Nixon to no, I'm a crook and I want immunity. and we've gone to that with this set of facts, okay? Mm-hmm. Accused of sexual misconduct by at least 26 women since the 1970s. Called for the execution of 5 wrongly imprisoned teenagers. Ran a real estate business that turned away black tenants.
Seems like you have a lot of these.
Founded a fake university. Oversaw the worst performing casino in Atlantic City. Oversaw a foundation that misused donations for self-dealing while failing to pay victims of 9/11. Spread a conspiracy theory that the first black president of the United States was not born in the United States. That's one page. I have 5.
Holy God.
You gonna read them all, or
Next week.
I'm going to save the fanfare for maybe the end.
Right.
Well, I don't know how to do this.
We should change the imaging, to be honest with you.
I don't know. Do you have different imaging?
I mean,
Stugotz's fart sound maybe
No,
from yesterday?
that's not a good sound.
Okay, we don't have better. We don't have better.
Wrong.
Better.
It's too long. Just read them.
I have 5 pages and I don't want to do this incorrectly, but they're just facts.
Yes, sir.
Paul McCartney sound?
Oh,
Do you have the Paul McCartney sound?
I'm working on it.
He works hard.
I'm getting to it.
We did just drop it on him out of nowhere.
We did, but I would say to you that, Stugotz, I in all honesty, okay, I feel so stupid. I feel so naive because I really thought once upon a time, because I'm an idiot, because I'm naive, that when Trump said we all heard the audio of, just grab him by the I'm like, no president can get away with that. That's where it ends. And I was like an idiot. So wrong, because every presidential shame I'd ever seen before that is scandal. Everything I'm reading to you here would be a crisis or an ending of any other president when it comes to what this position is supposed to represent in our country. Dismissed Russian interference in the 2016 election, then obstructed the investigation into it. Banned travel from 7 majority Muslim nations. Appointed an attorney general who actively wanted to take away voting rights from minorities. Spent $15,000 a month in taxpayer dollars on golf carts. Had a porn star paid $130,000 in hush money to cover up an alleged affair. Called Mexicans, drug dealers, rapists, and criminals while launching his own campaign for president of the United States. Do we have a better sound?
How many more pages?
3 more pages.
What? Jesus.
Oh, I like that one.
That's a good one. Yes.
We found her.
That's a good one.
He specifically asked you, don't play the one that's not.
Hey, I'm doing a lot of stuff.
I gotta go for comedy.
Come on,
guys.
I don't know
Well,
how
there's
to,
an F. You got to mark that, Tony.
how do I do this as comedy? I'm asking you. It's imperative in 2024 that we be able to do this as comedy. This is it is our calling to be able to somehow laugh around what's coming this way.
Well, the issue is there's a bleeped version, and we're going to have to go back and bleep it regardless. So why don't you just play the one that's bleeped? Because if not, you're causing double work.
I'm not trying to call.
Not you, Chris.
They're talking for some reason. They're talking to me about
Right.
They're not helping you. We've got total division in here. You've noticed that we've arrived at Billy is now just lobbing all grenades across all
He's worried about
floors.
workflow.
Falsehoods.
Right.
Tony, is it falsehoods?
No, he's right on this one.
How is he right on this one?
Because at the end of the day, all the Fs get bleeped, no matter if we play them or if we don't play them. They're just causing more work for me back here because I'm doing Jeremy's job and my job at the same time.
Okay, so do you...
Jerry Bear.
That's the one. That one's good.
Okay, but
Less funny.
It's not as funny.
I'll do the What the
Okay. No, Billy.
Let's steal.
Keep reading them to me. I think it's poignant what you're doing right now.
3 pages to go.
Poignant. Wow.
You think it's poignant.
I mean, you're proving a point. I have pages of shit. Most people have done 2 or 3 wrong things in their life. This man has done 5 pages worth, and it's front and back too.
Is it?
It was. One sheet we gave you was.
No, reveal that to him.
Well,
Continue with your poignancy.
Yes.
You're right, though. We are in a crazy time on Earth's existence where this stuff is happening, and we're trying to find some way to laugh about it when it's such serious BS that's going on. So we with you, bit, bro. It's just shocking.
Okay, Juju, but here's where you've been right today, okay? Because the place that I should be spending all of our time.
Snoop Dogg?
Not quite Snoop Dogg. Please stop that. Please stop. What the Paul McCartney is haunting me. And I'm like, that sound has been bothering. Oh, now I can't even stop it because Jessica can do it on command too. Juju knows that the place we should be spending time is neither Trump or whoopee cushions or Paul McCartney sounds. It's on the Boston Celtics being called soft.
Also, Zion Williamson said he will be in the dunk contest if y'all make him an all-star. You can't say that, bro. You need to play your way in the all-star game. Right. How about
be an all-star first? Yeah.
I'll be honest with you. I would take that deal if I'm the NBA. I'd make him an all-star because who cares? He's probably an all-star. To get him in the dunk contest, that'd be great.
Yeah, him versus McClung.
I'll take it.
Volume 3.
What's he dunking? Donuts?
Too far. Low blow. Too soon.
Get it? Because it's the whole thing.
Do I get it? Is what you're asking?
He's
me,
just
Billy.
checking.
No, so Billy, let me.
Laughing.
No, but yeah, no. I will tell you why.
Begs the question.
This is why. This is why Billy is an anarchist of an uncommon kind, Stugotz. Because the whole room there, I don't know what Tony and Jessica were doing, but because Billy was playing on the razor wire of, let me see if I can fat shame him and just make a joke about dunking donuts, like just the worst joke, and then stare at Dan with a giant smile on my face because he knows it's not funny and I know it's not funny.
Why'd you laugh? You seem so sad reading that list. I wanted to cheer you up, you know?
He just left it there for
by
you.
making a joke about whether Zion is dunking donuts and you're going to fat shame him when...
Well, I don't do a Charles Barkley impression. In my head, it would have worked better if Charles Barkley made that joke. You know what I mean?
Yeah. To your point, if Zion do what Snoop Dogg did and was like, I'm going to stop smoking, and then he was like, whatever he started smoking, if Zion say, I'm going to be in a dunk contest, donuts. I'm with my new partnership with Dunkin' Donuts.
Nice.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It is. He could do it as a marketing deal.
Big announcement involving dunks.
And he can be a spokesman on behalf of people who've been heavy all their life and are tired of Stephen A. Smith making fun of him for being heavy. Just because he's skinny and he boxes and he trains and look at it.
Right.
Two good hips, by the way. Like I did the math.
Billy,
Hey.
that was evil. What you just did there was evil because you want to fat shame Zion Williamson.
I don't want to.
A Dunkin' Donuts joke, Billy.
I mean, I lobbed it up for him.
We're very anti-fat shaming around here, so this is
Absolutely.
All right. Tim Miller's going to join us now, Stugotz. I'm going to force the politics down your throat, whether you want it or not. A recovering Republican. He was the communications director for the presidential campaign of Jeb Bush. He has become one of the most outspoken Republican critics of Donald Trump, and he left the party in 2020. He hosts the Bulwark podcast, a smart and funny show that you could catch every weekday.
Did you get through all 5 pages of facts there? I don't.
No, I've got 3 more pages of facts here, but I know you guys don't want it. So, Tim, walk me through some of this, please, because I've got more and more facts here of things that are appalling, and they are just facts, but evidently the people on my show don't want to hear it. They don't want to hear it. Stugotz is like, no, thank you. I don't want it. That's enough. The facts about our former president, I don't want to do it. So walk me through it. How do I make this entertaining? And how do I make it nutrients for my audience that every last fact I can put in front of people is fundamentally appalling?
Yeah, well, Pablo asked me to point out that you skipped over the key fact of Donald Trump's frequent appearance on the Dan Le Batard and Stugotz show. So I think that's a historical fact that you missed.
I did. Okay.
But
yes, that's true.
It's with, and that's a fun.
I'm just saying, if I'm guilty being a former Republican, I got to spread the love on that a little bit. Look, I mean, I think we can really just focus on one. There's only one fact, and I don't understand how everyone has not gotten over it. This man sat in the White House eating pizza and watching cable news while the Capitol was stormed by people waving his flag, attacking police officers, and trying to end our democracy. That's what he did. He spent 5-6 hours eating pizza and watching TV while our Capitol was attacked. That has not happened in any of our lifetimes. I don't know if Stugotz follows the news, but that is something that hasn't happened recently. We have not had a non-peaceful transfer of power since the Civil War. He incited one and then did nothing while these people tried to hang his vice president and attack police officers. Some of them died afterwards. So it is bewildering to me that my former party has nominated this man for the 3rd time after that happened. And we can go down the rest of the fact list. We could talk about how he told black women from America they should go back where they came from. We could go all the way down. The list of things that he did. But I just don't understand why that one fact is not enough for us to just move on.
All right, I'm going to do some more. Falsely claimed he won an election that he lost. Called up an election official telling him to, quote, find more votes. Anointed a Supreme Court justice after Republicans stalled out his predecessor's nominee for almost a year. Appointed a Supreme Court justice who served as a, quote, handmaid for an anti-abortion Christian community that expels gay people for having sex. Appointed a Supreme Court justice who was accused of sexual assault by 3 women. Pardoned 5 of his own advisors in addition to 4 Blackwater security guards who were convicted of shooting an 8-year-old to death. Commuted the sentence of the former governor turned celebrity apprentice contestant Rod Blujevich. I don't know how to do this for people. I mean, they know it, right? So it's not changing any minds to tell them or remind them, correct?
Do they know it? I mean, so here's the fact that that I'm not sure people know that should be pretty straightforward to people. Every national security advisor that Donald Trump had around him for 4 years has spoken out and said that he's a menace and said that he shouldn't be the president again, except for like the little stooges that he put in like in the last 3 months there. But, the relatively normal people, John Kelly, who's a general, Jim Mattis, H.R. McMaster. I think I'm probably guessing a lot of your listeners, a lot of regular folks don't really know who these people are. They might have heard the name. But these are serious leading military advisors, General Mattis, that all of them to a person that were around him, everybody that led his Secretary of Defense Department, everybody that led the State Department, none of them are for him. So I don't understand why random people have decided that they think that they are a better judge of whether this person should be the commander-in-chief and the leader of the free world than literally every military official that he appointed to be around him. It's not like it was random libs that he had around him. They were leading military generals that he chose, and they all looked at him and said, this dude is insane. We cannot have him in charge of the military again. So it seems to me like that's a pretty straightforward fact. And we could use, I think, more effort to promote those folks and to get their stories out there, because I think a lot of them aren't that good at PR. They're military guys. They do one interview with the New York Times or New Yorker or whatever, and they feel like they've said their piece. And I think that we need to do a better job of making sure people have heard their warnings.
Why does your former party continue to fall in line?
Well, because he hates the same people they hate. I mean, look, I think that there was some legitimate grievance among the people in my former party that the leaders of the party were not listening to them, and I think I'm guilty about that. I think that they didn't like the wars, frankly, that a lot of them were serving in the Iraq War. They weren't happy with globalization that has hollowed out a lot of communities. Weren't happy with immigration, and they got a bunch of kind of moderate Chamber of Commerce leaders that cared more about tax cuts and stuff. And I think that Donald Trump was the person that said, no, I'm going to listen to you. I'm going to be a big middle finger to all the people you hate, the elites, the media, gay and trans people, whoever it is that you hate, I hate them too. And I think that they feel heard by him because of that, or they feel like they are heard by him. Obviously, this isn't true. He's a narcissistic egomaniac. He doesn't hear them or care about them. But because he echoes their concerns and grievances, they feel a lot more loyal to him than they have past Republican leaders. I think that part of that was a mistake of the Republican leaders of the past. But I mean, at this point, we need to educate as many people as we can about the dangers of this guy, because he might play lip service to caring about what they care about, but we know what he actually cares about, number one, and whoever he's
okay,
he doesn't really care about them either, actually, probably. But
okay, enough of that, please. You're making the editing of this impossible.
I'm sorry. Are we not cussing? Do we not cuss? Is this a family
no,
show?
You're fine. No, you're fine. It was just jarring. It was just jarring. It was all you were doing journalism, and then you went straight to the hard. I mean, you went aggressively. And yes, we can curse. I'm glad you're free to curse. I can't believe, Stugotz, because I'm putting these two things side by side, and I can't believe I'm saying either of them, okay? Shared highly classified information with the foreign minister of Russia. I'm going to put that over there. Mm-hmm. And I'm going to put this group over here when he talks about the divisions of, like, running on a platform of, I will hate people on your behalf the way that you hate others. The way that you hate others, because there is a poison, a viral strain moving through our country where you have the following, I'm going to say, is facts. Told a group of minority congresswomen to, quote, go back to their countries. Pretty sure that's where we got gone at ESPN, right there. Called Haiti, El Salvador, and African nations, quote, shithole countries. Called white supremacists, neo-Nazis, and members of the KKK, all of whom have made a resurgence, very fine people. Called the removal of Confederate monuments, quote, so foolish and sad. Like, that's not concealed. That's not by accident. That is how you run on a platform of I hate others. I already gave you Mexicans are rapist criminals.
Yeah. You know, Dan, this segment, though, I think is kind of telling in seriousness. I appreciate what you're doing and that you're getting these facts out there. But there's a quote from Steve Bannon. I've interviewed him a few times. And he explicitly said back in 2015 or 16 that their strategy was to flood the zone. Warning, cuss is coming. Was to flood the zone with shit. And I do think that a lot of this stuff just starts to wash over people. This metaphor is getting kind of gross, but it's when there's so much. Right? I think back to 2012 and Mitt Romney, who I supported back then, and he had this one gaffe you might remember where he said that 47% of people are helpless, basically, and so we can't expect them to vote for us because they just want daddy government to take care of them. That was essentially the quote. This quote was like news for months for the whole campaign. It ruined the campaign, and it was all people talked about. And Donald Trump says things. If Donald Trump said like that in a speech, it wouldn't even make the news, right? Because he says so much crazy stuff. He says so much racist and hateful stuff. And so I do think in some ways that has helped him because people just start to tune a lot of this stuff out.
Forgive me, Tim, because Billy fell out laughing because, and I'm assuming I was trying to connect with him while you were talking, because he can one-up you. Howard Dean had a presidential campaign wrecked because the wrong sound of enthusiasm came out of his mouth. It wasn't even a word.
It was
right. See, that's how Howard Dean did it right there. That correct? That was presidential scandal once upon a time.
Can't have a guy screaming, bro. Can't have a guy screaming in the White House.
That's not presidential enough right there. That's what ended that campaign, correct? People didn't trust a man who would be that out of control.
Unhinged.
No, but we needed somebody sober like John Kerry. It was a smart move by the Democrats. They needed somebody very appealing like John Kerry instead.
Tim, get out of here. Nobody wants politics with their sports. You ruined it all, but thank you for...
we invited him on.
Yes, but for conjuring the image with a jarring note there of Donald Trump.
Bye, y'all. Thanks for having me. Go Tigers.
Remember the best vacation you've ever taken? Make your next one even better with Get Your Guide. With Get Your Guide, you can book over 100,000 unforgettable experiences in the U.S. and around the world. Want to see the Grand Canyon from a helicopter? They got you. Watching a wrestling match in Mexico City? No problem. Or how about a guided tour of Rome's ancient ruins? Wherever you're going, whatever you're into, book your next travel experience at getyourguide.com.
Eating better is easy with Factor's delicious, ready-to-eat meals. Every fresh, never frozen meal is chef-crafted, dietitian approved, and ready to go in just 2 minutes. You'll have over 35 different options to choose from every single week, including Calorie Smart, Protein Plus, my favorite, and Keto, which is actually really good. I did a week of Keto. It's excellent. Also, there are more than 60 add-ons to help you stay fueled up and feeling good all day long. What are you guys waiting for? Get started today and get after your goals. Get pancakes, smoothies, and more. Discover a wide variety of easy options for the entire day, like breakfast, midday bites, and more. Flexible for your schedule. Get as much or as little as you need by choosing your meals every week. Plus, you can pause or reschedule your deliveries at any time. I did a month of delivery straight, and then I was going out for a vacation, paused it, picked it right back up when I got back. It's super easy. Sign up and save. Factor is less expensive than takeout, and every meal is dietitian approved. Head to factormeals.com/Dan50 and use code Dan50 to get 50% off. That's code Dan50 at factormeals.com/Dan50 to get 50% off.
Don Le Batard.
I feel like we need to normalize saying these scientific terms for organs on the air. Like penis? If someone, yes, you know what? If someone takes a foul ball to the penis, we should just say he took a foul ball to the penis.
Say it. Stugotz.
That free kick hit him right in the cock-a-doodle-doo.
This is the Don Le Batard Show with the Stugotz.
This is how I know Hollywood has gotten back to work. It was so nice to have him all the time, have all of his talents during the pandemic, just bored out of his mind, helping our show whenever he could. But now he's gotten back to like writing giant television shows and doing important things.
And writing my book.
And helping you write your book. Yes, I'll get to that in a second with Mike Schur, but I'm happy to see his face. And before we go any further, though, the book or anything else, I want to talk about what happened to Boston last night, and I want to talk specifically about why it is that you and Mike Ryan and Jeremy are having these crazed arguments already when you need to pace yourself. We've got 2 months before any of this really makes you crazy. Will you slow down, please?
First of all, I'm made crazy in October by the NBA. That's the difference between me and everyone who works at your show. I actually watch the NBA before the playoffs. Second of all, what happened last night was a fluke. The Celtics had a 20-point lead in Cleveland. Some dude that no one's ever heard of hit 10 straight shots in the fourth quarter. There is one thing that bears watching. Tom Haberstrow's whole column on his Substack is about this today, and a lot of people are talking about it. Jayson Tatum is one of the worst clutch shooters in the NBA. Not just on the... He's like the 4th best clutch shooter on the Celtics. And he has this one vestige of his Kobe obsession left. It's been driven out of him, except for this one thing, which is that he still thinks that the best shot that the team has with 2 minutes left in a 3-point game is for him to slowly dribble the ball up the court, wait until there's 4 seconds left on the shot clock, and then take an absurd 20-foot fadeaway jumper. And it's bizarre, and it is the reason they lost last night. They are unstoppable, those 5, when they play the team basketball that they've been playing all year. And for some reason, in clutch time, he still has this. Now, it's not bad that he has the mentality of like, I'm the guy. I think that's what the team needed to take a next step. But it's really bad, and I don't like it, and it scares me a little bit. It's the only thing about the team that scares me.
It's so interesting, Schur, because I can't believe that this is an actual conversation now, because we're going to really do this. I remember people hitting LeBron with mentally frail, and then he goes off for 46 in Game 6 in Boston. But when the numbers bear some of this out, when he goes 1 for 9 in the fourth quarter yesterday, and when you've come on the show and said, no, that team needed Marcus Smart to lead it because Jaylen Brown and Jayson Tatum need someone to lead them. And now what's just obvious to everyone, wait a minute. If Porzingis is healthy and Drew Holiday isn't a waterlogged corpse like Amin said he is, that 4 is better than anybody else in the NBA has, is totally overwhelming. But the one weakness you're scared of is that headed toward Jimmy Butler, your guy's not mentally strong enough. I can't believe you're articulating that.
No. I'm not saying he's not mentally strong enough. In fact, I'm saying the opposite. I'm saying he's overconfident in moments when he shouldn't be. And need I remind everyone in that studio, most specifically the guy sitting to your left, that the reason Jordan won titles is because he drove and attracted double teams and then kicked it to John Paxson or kicked it to Steve Kerr.
The guys who could shoot, yes.
Yes, that's right. And so I think Tatum is at the level right now where he's like, I'm Jordan, I'm Kobe, but he hasn't reached the next level above that, which is when you're Jordan or Kobe, the thing that you do is draw all the attention and then kick it to somebody who's open.
How much are we...
Go ahead.
How much do we blame Mazzulla for that is what I'm saying. Like, I at some point, someone's got to save Tatum from himself.
Well, this was the problem I deeply believe, and I talked about this with Charlotte and Amin and Dan in LA months ago. I believe that the problem with the old version of this team was that Marcus Smart was the big brother, and that until the big brother left, the little brothers weren't ever going to like step up and take over the team. I think I've been proven mostly correct in that regard. But the next thing that the big brother has to do now that Tatum is that guy is understand that the offense functions best when he is a facilitator. And that guy, again, I watch the NBA, you guys don't, so you have no way of knowing this. But that guy has become an incredible passer.
He's right.
It's very fair.
Women don't
Tatum has become an incredible passer. He's a really, really good facilitator of the offense. And so all that has to happen is for someone to tap him on the shoulder and say, hey man, late in the game, like, let's just run our offense. Let's do the thing that we do for the rest of the game, which is like find the open shooter.
Right, or either drive at least. Do not settle for a 35-foot fadeaway with this little man guarding you. At least bare minimum drive to the paint. So like you said, when the defense collapses, is that Derek White I see over there? Or is that Kristaps? Either way, I'm passing.
Mike, can I, if I may, real quick, I know this Celtics team does not have depth, and I know we can make fun of the regular season.
They have Big Al.
But do I have it wrong when I say, and you've watched a lifetime of Celtics basketball, that this team feels like it's as good or better in comparison to the league than the one you most recently had that won the championship, which was Pierce and Garnett and Ray Allen. This team, what you're saying is, I don't trust my team, but I'm guessing the next step on this is, and I also think it's the best team I've seen this century from the Celtics.
Listen, the difference between this year and last year is I do trust the team. I did not trust the team last year because Marcus Smart thought that the best shot that you could take late in a close game was him launching a three, and he was the worst three-point shooter on the floor. That is gone now. And now Drew Holiday shoots like 65% from the corner. It's insane. Derek White and Porzingis are both incredible shooters in clutch time. Jaylen Brown is a good shooter in clutch time for all the crap he gets. So it's not that I don't trust the team. I do trust the team. I get scared in this one very specific situation. And I think that's an easily correctable situation, and I believe that they'll correct it before the playoffs.
Easily correctable.
Yeah, I do. I think because, look, if you can get Michael Jordan to pass the ball late in the fourth quarter of a finals game, you can get Jayson Tatum to do that. Just show him the tape of John Paxson hitting the three, and everything will be fine.
But Mike, you've followed the last 10 years.
Or show him a tape of Holiday from the corner. I mean,
okay, yeah. But you guys do this. But what's funny about Stugotz is he roars with laughter right now. Stugotz spent 10 years in the very comfortable lane of, hey, LeBron James might be the second best player of all time, and all I'm going to do is criticize him for passing at the end and saying he's a choke artist. And now you're telling me Jayson Tatum has to prove something else, which is he's got to learn, no, I need to shoot less and be the man, as we pressure him to be the MVP of the league and the leader and the guy who's the top dog on the Celtics, as we argue every day about is Jokic the best player in the league, and he says he's the face of the league. He's going to have a pressure to not pass it now that's going to come straight from your laughing voice, Stugotz.
But Dan, when you're all those things, and this is what Mike is saying, when you're all those things, you get the attention, especially at the end of big playoff games. And Mike is saying if you're getting that attention, give it to someone else who can
I know,
shoot.
But you criticized LeBron James for 7 years for not having a killer instinct because he would pass in those situations.
That was then, this is
That's
now.
why he wasn't as good as Jordan. Right. Are you forgetting this?
No, I remember. This is the seat I sit in. It's a great one.
Somebody should at least tell Jayson Tatum that we would love a shot from you within the paint in those situations.
Get to the rack.
Right. Stop trying to be Kobe. Stop trying to have that moment. Brother, we need a W only.
And finally, to be fair to Tatum, he was fouled 3 times yesterday on that final play. So, I'm not.
No, he kicked out. He caused the contact with his. He caused the contact with his leg.
He was fouled before that.
We can't talk about that though, bit brother. We lost a 22-point lead in the fourth quarter.
No, it was a disaster. Look, it was a disaster game. Would you rather be the Celtics right now or any other team in the league?
I would always rather be the Celtics than anybody in the league. You already know who you're talking to.
Oh no, but you say that, and yet you wait a minute though. Wait a minute.
You'd rather be the Celtics.
No, I agree. I would agree with that. Everyone would agree with that. But
Jeremy wouldn't.
You know he is. Wait a minute. Mike Schur is tortured, emotional fan. He has warned you for years. He's been more right than anyone in the media about what was going to happen in that sport and was yelling it from mountaintops for months. He was saying, my Celtics are going to break my heart. I'm terrified of the Heat. Now this team is better. They do the controversial hard thing. Marcus Smart, we know you're a fan favorite. Get out of here. And they get 2 guys, Porzingis and Holiday, who make them appreciably better. And yet you still fear the Heat. So you can't tell me that you want to be the Celtics more than everyone else, but you have a fear.
But headed into yesterday, the Celtics were 364-0 when leading by 20-plus points in the fourth quarter, dating back to 97-98. Like, yesterday was just a blip on the radar.
Also, headed into yesterday, we beat the brakes off of the Warriors, and they tried Jaylen Brown for some reason, leaving him wide open. I think
that was amazing.
Right. I think Jaylen Brown's confidence is finally at the moment where give him him a chance at the end of the game or two. Something has to change about the late game strategy from Joe Mazzulla.
Did you happen to see the text that I sent to Meadowlark employee Matt Sullivan about the next 4 Heat games? Have you seen this yet?
Yes, you predicted we're doing this. You're going to become Kornheiser and Wilbon, the I told you so. You've predicted all of these games correctly.
He was right. The only one that was right.
All right. Well, he
told Sullivan.
He privately texted Sullivan. Yes, only Sullivan. Almost the exact scores by which the Heat would win the next 4 games and what would happen. He has been a truth teller. But when you mentioned the thing about Jaylen Brown, I saw Draymond Green said this. He says we're 3-0 on a road trip. We were going to let Jaylen Brown shoot 3-pointers because he shoots them at 34%, but not if you don't guard him. If you don't guard him, he shoots them at 40%. But does anyone think that playoffs are going to have with people not being guarded out there? Like, what are we talking about on what it takes to beat the Celtics when you're sitting here saying to us, the only way they beat themselves is with themselves? That is if Tatum can't figure this part out.
Yeah, obviously they're not going to let anyone be unguarded. No one's going to let anyone be unguarded at the 3-point line. But what does that matter? Like, look, it's not that I don't have fears. Of course I have fears. I live every day of my life with crippling anxiety about the sports teams that I root for. But this is not last year. The team is different. Their offense is different than it was before. They have more weapons than they had before. The Nuggets lost last night to Phoenix. Like every team, like the reason that there's so much highlighting of a game last night for the Celtics is because everyone's looking at the Celtics. So like, you know, you can, why isn't everyone talking about how Jokic didn't come up big last night in overtime? It's because the Nuggets aren't as good as the Celtics this year.
Well, he won a title too.
Right.
You can talk about it right now.
Floor's yours.
It doesn't mean the Celtics aren't like don't have problems. It just means that like the whole spotlight is on the Celtics because they're first team in NBA history to win 3 50-point games. So everyone's looking at them. And that's just the deal. And I think that the team has to own it and understand that they're the best team, that they should win the title and let the chips fall where they may.
Right. With great power comes with great responsibility. So you are
That's
definitely right. And I think that you are right as well with the Suns last night because they collapsed. They gave an epic comeback in for the Nuggets, but then the overtime, Joker was nowhere to be found. So you're right. More support to Mike Schur. Everybody, ladies and
He's right about everything.
More support to Mike Schur. He doesn't have quite enough support. All right, Mike Schur, I have for you more questions, but I don't know whether you had something prepared or not. Do we have a stat of the day? Do we have February observations? Or are you just joining us because you wanted to talk about last night's Celtics debacle?
I am a professional and I show up prepared and I always have a stat of the day. You never have to ask me if I have a stat of the day. I'm not Greg Cody. I come with the work that I was assigned to do.
Okay, thank you. And no matter how busy he is, it is fairly amazing.
Start of the day.
Oh my God!
Start of the day.
Right.
This is start of the day. Start of the day. Start of the day. This is start of the day. Start of the day. Start of the day. This is start of the day. Start of the day. Start of the day. This is start of the day.
Mike Schur, I want to tease this with anticipation because we don't have enough time here for you to have. I want this to have the artistic flourish it deserves. You work hard in a very busy schedule to create content for Meadowlark Media, and I don't want to give it 32 seconds. So it's been a while since we had a stat of the day. How impressed are you by your stat of the day? Do you really like it this week?
You saying you don't want me to give you the stat of the day after that long musical intro?
I want it as the post-game show because we're out of time.
The rare imaging with no payoff.
Chris Cody is in charge, and he's just been playing Paul McCartney sounds a bunch.
Oh. Yeah. All right. I can come back for post-game.
All right, stay there. He has not managed the clock well because he's been very busy playing Paul McCartney sounds.